Okay, excellent. Okay, colleagues, we'll make a start. And the live streaming is now on, so I'll open the meeting. I'll take apologies for absence. First, I'll just say that we've got an apology from, obviously, I'm not Kim McGuinness. Kim is taking some leave at the present time as a result of some routine surgery, and I'm sure she'll be back as quick as she possibly can be, and I'd be highly surprised if she isn't actually watching online now to make sure I'm doing things correctly. We've got an apology from Karen Kilgore, and she, substitute member from Newcastle, is Alex here, who's with us. Got a number of Helen from Northumberland, and Patrick Malia, and I think that Jill is standing in for Patrick. Susan, I was told, might not be here, but she is. Susan Dungwell is here. Yes, we are. But Joy Allen from Durham, the Durham PCC, has had to send her apologies. So can we accept those apologies? Thank you. Can I take any declarations of interest? Okay, thank you. Okay, and the third item is announcements from the chair or from the chief executive. I mean, I've obviously mentioned that Kim can't be with us and she will be undergoing routine surgery and will be back as soon as possible. And as I say, I'd be highly surprised if she's not watching us online. I'm also told to just very briefly announce two or three things which have been really significant and as part of the ongoing success of the Combined Authority. Last month we had 260 investors from around the world to see the scale of opportunities in the North East offered by green energy and green jobs. We have a significant and growing sector with ambitions to employ up to 50,000 people and perhaps supplying half of the UK's energy needs from offshore wind. So that's a really successful event. Also last month, members will be aware that the government did announce its plans for Northern Powerhouse Rail. We, as a combined authority, have already invested significantly and are plan to invest in reopening the so-called Leamside Line North, which would link Washington onto the metro system, South Hilton Loop, the Washington Loop there, which is a really significant investment. We also had already started work on the business plan, and I think it was £8 million was allocated for the development of the business plan. But the government has pledged to support that development and has given us the resources to develop to a full business plan. Now, the opportunity of opening the Leamside Line, we've been through it many times before. The existing East Coast Main Line, absolutely beyond capacity. 6 slots an hour, freight trains, intercity trains and cross-country trains competing on the same line, choking the North East economy. In fact, I would argue that it doesn't just choke the North East economy, the fact that it's a bottleneck on the main arterial route across the UK, it chokes the economy of the entire country. So I think that's a significant investment of benefit to the North East, but also I think to the UK's wider economy. And just finally, to welcome the introduction of 29 new British-built electric buses on our busiest routes across the northeast of England, including the X66 Lincoln Town Centres and the Metro Centre, the 58, which runs through Gateshead East. I'm delighted by all these links through Gateshead. And of course the 21, which links County Durham, Chesney Street, Burley, Gateshead and Newcastle. And they are 29 new electric buses, making a significant contribution to improving public health across the whole of the region. Is there anything else that you want to raise, Henry? Okay. Glenn?
Thank you. Yes, it's good news about the Leamside Line. I'm sure that part of the Combined Authority will be very pleased about the positive signs being given out. I wouldn't want, however, for us to forget how important the Northumberland line is, delivered by the County Council and with grateful help towards the end from a bit of money from Necker. We must extend that line, and I'm very glad that Kim, and if she's watching, I'm sure she'll be smiling when I say that I look forward very much to seeing the business case being worked up on that, because you know how important it is to link that and how successful the Northumberland line already has been. And on the buses, I wonder how many buses are coming to Northumberland of that beautiful new shiny fleet. Could you tell me that?
Well, I think the majority of them are already within the central conurbation. You're absolutely right. And the reason for that, of course, is because the air quality in the centre of Tyneside is so bad. 400 people, it's estimated there are 400 preventable deaths every year as a result of poor air quality in central Tyneside. Now, when you think about that, you know, if there was a jumbo jet crashing, God, it's an awful vision, isn't it? Crashing into central Tyneside every year, there would be a public outcry about it. But 400 preventable deaths each year because of poor air quality. And it will benefit the wider region as well, Glenn, yes. Anybody, any other points? Okay. The next item is the minutes of the last meeting. Can we confirm those? That was from the 9th of December. Can we confirm those? Thank you. Item 5, delivering for the North East 25-26 delivery update. Can I pass to you, Henry?
Chair, thank you. So lots in this report to be really proud of and really pleased with as a Cabinet and a wider combined authority. So let me first say thanks to the team for all the work for pulling this together. It shows what we've done since May 2024, which in raw numbers is approved 128 proposals to drive progress across all 5 missions of the combined authority as agreed by our Mayor and Cabinet. That includes allocation of just shy of 270 million worth of funding from the investment fund and approval of some really major schemes across the region, like our early capital regeneration programme, the investment zone, Connect to Work, our economic and activity trailblazer, and the Brownfield Housing Fund. So some really significant programmes of work starting to show impact out there in the world. It also reports that Cabinet has approved 395 million worth of transport investment in that period. So really significant, and that's thousands of jobs being created and safeguarded through the process. So the report is about what we've achieved so far. The focus is on 25-26, the year we've just been through. I won't go through them all, but the team has asked me to pick out a few brief highlights. The launch of the Child Poverty Action Plan, which is, of course, a circa 30 million investment to drive what is absolutely the most comprehensive and coordinated regional intervention of its kind in the UK, I believe certainly in England, to tackle child poverty here in the North East. Mayor's Fairs will come to later in the agenda, but the decisions taken so far by you as a Cabinet have enabled people of all ages to get around the region more affordably, and we've seen patronage increase through this period due to that initiative. So it is working, you can be assured of that. And we've finalised in that time and published our local growth plan, which is a really significant document, about 14 billion worth of investment opportunities within that across the entire region, the entire spread of this enormous and brilliant region, and lots of opportunities for skills and jobs therein. That also builds on the announcement of the AI Growth Zone in the North East in September, which is the first of its kind in the country. So they're just some snapshot examples of the North East really starting to lead through devolution and the work we're doing together. And actually you'll see collaboration, and the strength of that collaboration is so fundamental to everything that we do, and I hope you'll find that comes through the report really, really strongly. We see this as a team effort in its widest sense and needs to continue as such. The report will note, you'll see that whilst we've made good progress, I think that's really excellent progress in the time that we've had. Jobs far from over, so it details some of the strategies, delivery plans. I'll come to those in a moment through the into the corporate plan, and the work we've done as a team to build the capability to essentially keep going and deliver more and better for the region, and the accountability arrangements that we naturally take so seriously in terms of public scrutiny of our work, the transparency and spending public money well. So all of that is addressed in some form within that impact report. It's a good piece of work, and big thanks to the Cabinet and the wider teams for putting that together. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Glenn Sanderson.
Thank you very much. Just two quick things, one positive, one not so positive. On the first positive one, I think we should thank Phil Wycherley, who, with his team, laid on an extremely good event in Newcastle a few weeks ago, which allowed a whole range of different people to meet and talk about, particularly about green energy and how this part of the country, this part of the world even, is open and ready and willing and absolutely perfect for new investment. So well done, Phil. Thank you very much for doing that. I met some really interesting people that day as well, who are very switched on and very keen to work here. I suppose the slightly negative one, Chair, is around the AI growth zone. I think for you and I especially, it's important to see the work beefed up a bit, and some measure given from government that they still maintain that this is an important area of work and that it is resourced and delivered. Northumberland, anyway, is certainly very keen to play their part. So hopefully, perhaps NECA might put a word forward about this one.
Is it on? Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, Chair. Can I just say I absolutely welcome this report. I think for us it just demonstrates the huge amount of work that we've gone on with our partners as well as with our officers, and we are seeing these achievements being delivered across our region. I just want to pull out just something for me which I need to mention, the achievements of the Home of Real Opportunity portfolio. It would be remiss of me not to mention it. You know, we were talking about the New Deal for the North East workers, and we've had some fantastic programmes. We've talked about the boot camps, the Connect to Work, and the Trailblazer. You know, so for me, this report actually highlights the fantastic work, but it also shows that the 5 missions that was set out by Mayor McGuinness is actually working for the whole of the region. I mean, when we're talking about the vital transport infrastructure, we talk about, you know, reducing fuel poverty, we can see that those 5 missions that were outlined by Mayor McGuinness is actually working across the region. So those are just some comments, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Sorry about that. Yes, I just want to echo Tracy's sentiments there and say that it's really good to see so much progress made over the past year, some really exciting developments and projects. In relation to the Home of the Green Energy Revolution, which is, of course, my portfolio, I just want to note a couple of those highlights. I was delighted to launch the new £4 million North East Warm Home Service just before Christmas. That will provide bespoke support to over 3,000 households across the region. And we're also have the Warm Homes Task Force set up, which is working on the North East Warm Home Strategy. So looking forward to progressing that work in future months. Also picking up again on what Councillor Gannon said earlier and Councillor Sanderson, delighted to be involved in delivering the Invest North East Energy and Innovation Summit held in Newcastle recently. And it really was a great opportunity to showcase the North East region as a real hub for green energy. And I met some really interesting people on the day as well, people who are really keen to work with us here in the North East and to really help us achieve our ambition of 25,000 green energy jobs within the next 10 years. It's such an important aspect of our local growth plan. It's key to the local growth of the North East region. So delighted to be involved in that, and well done to Phil and the whole team and everybody else involved in that. Also great to see the setting in motion of the North East Ports Partnership with the Memorandum of Understanding signed by the North East Mayor, our 3 fantastic ports and Newcastle Airport. So again, look forward to progressing that further down the line. Thank you.
Are there any further comments? Okay, can we agree the report? Thank you. Item 6, changes to public transport fares and time tunnel tolls and charges. I'll introduce this report. The recommendations are relatively straightforward in terms of approve the introduction of the Mayor's Fare adult £2.50 single fare cap on Metro and also on the Northumberland line for those who pay by POP pay-as-you-go. Also the proposed increases in the Tyne Tunnel charges. But in terms of the recommendations, I think I just need to say just a very few words very briefly about the success that we are having in terms of public transport. We've witnessed, public transport, buses particularly, are incredibly important to the people that we represent. We have some of the lowest levels of household car ownership. But even when households when you own a car, like mine, 2/3 of my household don't drive. Right? I drive, my wife doesn't, and my daughter doesn't. So the vast majority of people across the whole of the North East of England are dependent upon public transport, important to their employment, to their social lives, educational opportunities, to life opportunities. And what we've seen over the last 40 years is a massive decline, nationally and in the region, of bus usage. And yet the work that we're doing in partnership with the bus operators through the Bus Service Improvement Plan and the work that we're doing with the Mayor's Fares and trying to reduce the cost of public transport has seen a significant improvement. 81 million people have already used or taken advantage of the Mayor's Fares scheme in the North East of England, and that's resulted in a 7% increase in bus usage over the last year. There's improvements are taking place nationally, but in the North East, that's well ahead of the improvement in the rest of the country, which is about 1%. So we've seen a 7% increase in bus usage over the last 12 months. So this proposal further enhances that work, and as we know, we're moving forward into hopefully very shortly in the next stage of bus regulation, where we will have a clear direction. As local authorities, we invest £119 million a year into bus operations in the North East of England. The bus operators in the North East of England receive £119 million of subsidy from the public purse. And with the introduction of a franchise bus system, the Angel network, for the very first time, we will be able to set out to the operators the levels of the fare, the frequency of the services, the reliability of those services, and that will be the next phase of our journey in terms of improving public transport. So with that, I would move the report. Any other comments? Michael?
Thanks very much, Martin. Just really to welcome the Mayor's Fares for the Metro in particular. I think this is an excellent proposal that is going to save a lot of people across Sunderland a significant amount of money. If you look at the single ticket 3 zone, it's a saving of £2.60. That, for someone on a low income, getting to school, college or a job is not inconsequential. And this to me shows the power of devolution, being able to bring this forward. So I just want to place on my thanks to you as portfolio holder, Martin, to the Mayor for her leadership on this, because this is going to help make a big difference for the people of Sunderland.
Okay. Are there any further questions or comments? Nope. Okay, thank you very much. Can we agree with the report? Thank you. Item 7 is the North East Combined Authorities Corporate Plan 26 to 30 and Nexus's 26-31 business plan. I've got nothing to add. Do you want? Are you taking that, Henry?
Chair, I can take this. Thank you. So you recall that we set our first corporate plan covering the period 24 to 28 last year. That was approved by you as a cabinet in January 2025. That included a commitment to coming back on an annual basis to refresh that plan. So that's why you're seeing what's in front of you today. I've covered a bit about the impact of what we're doing and that kind of early stage delivery. This report is forward-looking. This shows what we will be doing as an authority. You would expect any authority like ours to have a good, solid corporate plan, and this is no different. It also shows that we have a number of strategic plans that guide our work in particular sectors. So the local growth plan we've mentioned, the transport plan, the New Deal for North East Workers, the Child Poverty Action Plan, and of course, spatial development strategy to come. So that is setting out on the page what we're going to do and then delivering against what we've said, which is, I think, a really important thing for any authority to be able to say. The plan also sets out the progress we've made in terms of designating the combined authority as a, quote, established mayoral strategic authority, so another acronym for us, but really important in terms of delivering the highest level of devolution that's possible for us at the present time. And that, of course, comes with a requirement to be transparent, report well, and develop a corporate plan that reflects those outcomes that we've delivered, that we've agreed, should I say, as a cabinet. So you'll see all of that reflected in the report. You will also see, along the lines of the 5 missions that have been agreed, some pledges as to what we will deliver on your behalf over the next period. So, for example, in Home of Real Opportunity, that includes delivering the Child Poverty Action Plan, the New Deal for North East Workers, and some really good specific sector skills plans that are coming through. A North East we're proud to call home. That includes some really important transport delivery, including the business case development for Metro to Washington, and the development of the early stage angel network, and the spatial development strategy, which is going to guide our housing ambitions as a region too. So some really important things coming through there. In the Home to a Growing and Vibrant Economy for All portfolio, you'll see inward investment ambitions reflected, the SHINE programme, innovation across a number of different sectors, and support for the visitor economy, hospitality, events and creative industries, which as a cabinet you've been so proactive in agreeing programmes to bring forward. In Home of the Green Energy Revolution, Mayor Clark's talked a bit about the potential within that sector, the delivery plan for doubling the number of green jobs in the region to 50,000 by 2035, which is a mix of investment in sites, skills, supply chain innovation, access to those sites in terms of transport, and supporting families with warm homes programme and ways to prepare for what we know is coming on retrofit. And then last but not least, a welcoming home to global trade is our portfolio that is all about our international presence, and so a set of pledges which are about us getting out there with a clear offer to global investors and indeed investors in this country too, using our strengths. So Councillor Sanderson mentioned the AI Growth Zone, which is going to be a huge part of that over the coming years, and how we use the funding available to us, for example, the investment fund, in order to try to attract the kind of businesses we want to see to the region and support the growth of those businesses we know can provide and indeed are already providing jobs for people here. So that's a bit of an overview. You'll see that set out in the report. And the rest of the corporate plan covers how we work as an organisation and the values with which myself and the team will deliver on that work. I should also spend half a second on the back end of the report, which is just as important in terms of what we need to agree today. So this also includes the Nexus corporate plan. We know how fundamental Nexus is to delivering transport ambitions for the region. So their corporate plan, which is 26 to 31, is included here. That obviously covers their delivery and operational requirements on how to deliver a safe, sustainable public transport network for us all. So all in all, Chair, really exciting set of pledges in there, which we will leave no stone unturned, as they say, as an officer team and as a wider North East to make sure they're delivered on your behalf. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Thanks, Martin.
Thanks, Chair. Can I welcome one small but important element in the corporate plan, and that's a statement about developing a strategic relationship with the community and voluntary sector. The Combined Authority already works closely with the sector in a number of areas, including boosting the economy and tackling economic activity, such as on the Trailblazer Fund, and it's a welcome partner, and the whole of the community voluntary sector looks forward to deepening this relationship in line with the ambitions of the plan in contributing to the success of the region economically as well as tackling inequalities.
Okay, thank you, Martin. Any further comments? Gary?
Yeah, thanks, Martin. I'm genuinely excited about everything in this corporate plan and everything that Nick has been doing for the last couple of years. And I'm particularly excited about the Home of the Green Energy Revolution work stream. As members around the table know, I've always been really keen on the public sector investment being a trigger for leveraging in even bigger private sector investment into the region. And I think the green energy revolution really does that. It really gives us some strong examples of how we've invested in the new energy training centre at Wallsend, for instance, but also some of the other investment that's coming in, SSA Renewables, for instance, are bringing cabling into Blythe from their new Berwick Bank wind farms, which I think have very recently been given permission to go ahead. And one of the biggest pension funds in the company in this region invests in a company called North Star at Port of Tyne. So that's real key investment in lots of parts of what's going on in the region. And we've got the beginnings of the opening of the door to deep geothermal technology within the region as well, which I think is something that's well worth exploring. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Susan?
Sorry.
It's on.
Not very good with technology. I just wanted to welcome the part in here around safety on public transport and make the plea, I suppose, that staff at the North East Authority continue to work closely with staff in my office who've got a long-term experience around working with the transport sector and improving not just safety but people's perception of safety within it, and that it's not just the metro, it's also the most of our residents use buses, not metros. So I look forward to continuing very close working together on that. Thank you.
Okay, the recommendation is set out in the report. Can we agree those? Thank you. Next item is the item 8, the 26-27 budget and the medium-term financial plan. Sets out really ambitious plans for the next 3 years. And it's the first of our multi-year settlements, so it's setting out ambitious plans. And Michael, do you want to say something?
Thanks very much, Chair. It's my pleasure to introduce this item, and I welcome this budget and medium-term financial plan, our first as an established Mayoral Strategic Authority. This new status gives us access to an integrated settlement, which enables us to ensure that the way in which we invest is fully aligned with the needs of the people of the North East through our North East Local Growth Plan, Local Transport Plan, the Mayor's Manifesto, our flagship Child Poverty Action Plan, and our priorities for skills in the region through the New Deal for North East workers. Today's paper sets out an ambitious plan for the next 3 years, with a total investment in the region of over £1.7 billion that will be used to deliver economic growth, better skills and opportunities for all, regeneration of our high streets and town and city centres, and the continued investment in our transport networks, both urban and rural, to ensure it is reliable, sustainable and affordable. And at this point, Chair, I'm happy to hand over to Mag to take us through the detail in the report. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Modi. Thank you, Chair. Thanks all. This report follows the draft budget for 26-27 and the medium-term financial plan for the North East Combined Authority that was presented for Cabinet's agreement to consultation in December of 2025. Today's report finalises those draft proposals in a budget and medium-term financial plan that's now presented for approval by Cabinet. It sets out the financial framework for delivering the Combined Authority's missions over the period to 2029 and sets out the expected funding, expenditure and reserves, ensuring that resources are aligned with the Mayor's and Cabinet's strategic objectives and that financial sustainability is maintained. This is a balanced budget, fulfilling our statutory duty, and underpins, as others have said, an ambitious programme of investment and growth. I won't say again all of the strategic plans that it enables, others have covered that, but is clearly the funding that underpins achievement of those missions and the Combined Authority's wider priorities.
Okay, are there any further questions?
I'm not done. You might wish I was, but I'm not done.
You paused for breath, man.
How dare I? The budget and financial plan have been developed during a period of transition, again as mentioned, as the North East Combined Authority becomes an established mayoral combined authority, bringing access to the highest level of devolution and an integrated settlement from the 1st of April. The settlement brings together a range of funding streams that we'll all remember have historically been ring-fenced into a multi-year allocation of broad themes. That gives us greater flexibility, it gives us longer-term certainty, and it gives us increased local control over investment decisions. Over the next 3 years, as Councillor Modi said, this plan envisages over 800 million of capital investment and 900 million in revenue investment, reflecting the overall 1.5 billion integrated settlement. I should also say this finalised proposal reflects consultation undertaken both with Cabinet members and the Combined Authorities Overview and Scrutiny Committee, and thank you to all members here today and members on the Overview and Scrutiny Committee for their input to it. The report also includes the proposed budget for approval for the running costs of the Combined Authority and the proposed approach to funding them. These are set at a level to ensure that we have the capacity required to deliver the authority's missions and manage new areas of responsibility. Just turning briefly to transport, the report includes proposals for the levies and grants related to our 3 transport delivery bodies of Nexus, Northumberland County Council and Durham County Council. It also reflects the changes to fares and tolls set out in the paper discussed and approved earlier on today's agenda. The reserve strategy, also set out in the paper, sets out our intention to maintain an unallocated reserve of £15 million, with amounts above this providing a source of investment for projects to be brought through the single assurance framework. In summary, the report includes several recommendations to Cabinet. I'll summarise those as Cabinet's approval of the Combined Authority running cost and delivery budgets, the Treasury Management Strategy and prudential indicators, the transport levies and related grants for Nexus, Durham and Northumberland, and the Nexus capital and revenue plans. That is it, Chair. Thank you.
Any questions? Sorry. Any questions or comments? I'll take Glenn and then Michael, yeah. Because Michael can wind up because he leads in that area.
I wind up, Michael.
Yep.
I wonder if Michael might answer this question, or you, perhaps. On page 109, in small g, it talks about the former bus services improvement plan, which you will remember, Chair, was a wonderful amount of money from the previous government. Yep. That would be incorporated into the Nexus operating grant. I thought the bus improvement grant funding was for bus services across Necker. How much are we talking about here, and why is Nexus going to get this money?
I'll take that one. The part of the paper you're looking at there is just the Nexus section of the report.
It is.
So that is them saying that the BSIP they previously received will go into their operating grant, but the BSIP spent in Northumberland and Durham continues to be available through the integrated settlement. So any kind of future investments in bus across the region would be integrated settlement funded. This is purely Nexus saying that they're experiencing the same shift.
So that's helpful, thank you. So roughly how much is remaining of that fund that has not been allocated yet?
The BSIP funding, I will have to come back to you.
Roughly.
So I think it was 70 million in total. We are working to allocate the final 40. I think there's between 10 and 20 million of that unallocated as of now.
Right, okay, because that's obviously a really important piece of money that we would like to see spread across Necker in an equitable way.
Yeah. Okay. Michael?
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, Mags answers the hard questions and I'll take any easy ones. It was remiss of me in my opening remarks not to thank Mags and the team for all the work done in preparing the budget. It's no mean feat getting us to this point, so I just want to place on record my thanks to Mags and the team for that, and also to each of the FDs and the teams and each of the constituent authorities for all their help in getting us to this point. I just wanted to put that on record, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Alex.
Thank you, Chair. I know a significant amount of work goes into preparing a budget and a plan, so I just want to place on record my thanks and the thanks of Newcastle City Council to Mags and to Councillor Modi for all of the work he's undertaken in this process. The investment being driven into the region is phenomenal, and this MTFP is vital to ensure we're delivering the maximum impact for residents in our short and medium term goals. But I'm particularly pleased to see the level of investment that's coming into the region, particularly the £25 million Creative Growth Fund that is providing such a boost to our creative industries. And when we've seen the Mobos and the Mercuries delivered in Newcastle, it would have been remiss of me not to come in at this point just to celebrate that particular piece of work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Are we okay? Can I just clarify, is everyone happy to approve the report? Nobody? Actually, I think under the Constitution we require unanimity. Yep, okay. So that has to be by unanimous decision. Okay, thank you very much indeed. Item 9, Combined Authority 24-25 Statement of Accounts and Annual Governance Statement. Mags.
Thank you, Chair. Cabinet members will be aware of the importance of the Statement of Accounts, which sets out, in compliance with statute and required accounting and reporting standards, the financial performance of the Combined Authority for the period from its establishment on 7th of May 2024 to the end of its first financial period on 31st of March 2025, and of course its financial position at that date. Work is ongoing with our auditors to finalise that statement of accounts and the accompanying annual governance statement and narrative report. It is expected that this work will be fully complete before the statutory deadline of the 27th of February. Accordingly, the audit completion report will be presented to the Combined Authorities Audit and Standards Committee on the 19th of February. The draft accounts were subject to review by Audit and Standards Committee at their meeting in September, and the updated final accounts will be reviewed by the same committee at their meeting on the 19th of February, along with the audit completion report. The accounts were also subject to a public inspection period from the 15th of July to the 26th of August, during which no comments or objections were raised. Today's report therefore seeks a delegation from Cabinet to me, Director of Finance and Investment, in consultation with the Mayor, the Chief Executive and the Chair of the Audit and Standards Committee to agree any final amendments or changes and for them to be signed off by the Director of Finance and Investment and the Mayor on behalf of the Combined Authority. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we agree that, Glenn?
Just a quick question, I promise. On page 305, where we're talking about the actuaries' statement, would you mind just telling me quickly what, because I don't understand this graph, longevity at 65 for current pensioners and then 20.9 and 20.9. Please tell me what that means.
So that means that if you are a current pensioner who is 65, as of now, the actuarial assumption is that you would live for a further 20.9 years, and that's how they work out the pension liability.
Can I just ask, is our pension scheme part of the kind of regional one? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Can we agree the report? Okay. At this stage, because item 11, I think it's item 11, yes, is a staff update which will contain personal information which is exempt under legislation. Can I ask, are we happy to exclude the press and public at this stage? Thank you. And officers of the authority?